Three. We are live. Yep, we're live. We'll just wait for people to tune in. But Brother Anthony, Brother Red Pill, good to see y'all again. Been
Yes,
getting a lot of
yes.
messages, man. People really enjoying our shows, man.
Oh, beautiful.
Big ups to you, my brother. Big ups to you.
Yeah, I mean, big up to the network that we've all, have individually cultivated our networks and we're able to bring it all together to bring more value to more people. So, salute to all of us for making this happen. And salute to the listeners. Um, there are a lot of people who have now begun listening to our shows on Mondays and Wednesdays religiously to the point that when we don't come live, some people are saying that they feel like they missed out on the day. So,
Right, right.
um,
Yeah, I can't wait to get to the Wednesday as well, man, because I know you got a lot to discuss on Wednesday.
oh
Can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
You're right. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Wednesday is going to be very exciting this Wednesday. A lot of people have been hitting me up about
I know.
that
Yeah.
information as well, and people starting to do the math and the
Right.
numbers.
Uh-huh.
And numbers speak louder than words. So
Yes.
we're getting people on, and about they're asking about Patreon. Uh, Brother Red Pill, you going on Patreon today, Red? That's what they just asked you.
9:30. So I have it scheduled for the 9:30 to we're gonna chop it up from 9 to 9:30 on both of the YouTube channels. And then at 9:30, we will exclusively switch over to Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, indeed.
Hmm.
Please join us. I will drop the link. Because the Knicks won, I'm feeling so generous. You know what I mean? My heart, the effervescence is in the air. You feel me?
Right.
So I'm like,
Right.
y'all come on through on Patreon. I opened it up to everybody, all tiers and whatnot. Yeah, tap in, but I do encourage everybody on the Patreon to become a member. That's that not just a regular member, but also a member who is invested in the program and what it is that we're doing. Veterans, you know what I mean? We've been in this thing for 20 plus years. And yeah, we are still in the process of building out our quote unquote media empire along with our audience. So definitely join us. Membership has its privileges.
Absolutely. And Brother Anthony, want to chime in for your listeners as well. Um, you can state the call-in number, and I'm going to also put in the number where the link where people can call in as well.
All right. Y'all know the number. For you new listeners out there, 205-417-7552. And we're on Facebook, of course, WSYP 95.1, and YouTube, and on the website. You know where you are on the website. So 205-417-7552. Call your friends, your loved ones, the sick and shut in, and trying to get our folks well.
Absolutely. And what we got on the agenda for today, we were going to do last week. We skipped last week. We're going to talk about autoimmune illnesses today. And what's going to be very interesting is that what I'm going to be sharing with you all, even though we're going to be coming off of YouTube because YouTube likes to really, block information that we're giving. However, this information is also on YouTube. So I'm going to be playing you two YouTube presentations that have not been banned on YouTube. So, we really shouldn't have a problem. However, we are protecting against any future problems by migrating to Patreon. And those people who are watching me on Facebook too, you can watch this on herbalresults.net on the live stream tab on the website as well, because we don't censor the truth. We don't censor our findings. We don't censor our testimonials. We don't censor any way that we can give you information that is going to change your life in a tangible way. Okay. So, because of that, we're very sensitive to YouTube and its draconian policies, particularly when it has to do with us and what we're presenting. And so definitely around 9:30, you want to make your transition, particularly for those who are tuned in to YouTube. You're going to get information in a perspective that you usually are not going to get. And what is that perspective? The perspective is teaching you how to solve your problem. Okay? That's what we're focused on. We want to teach you how to solve your problem from the comfort of your home. Someone says, I have a message here. I'm going to have to see how I can post it. From Carlos. Says he started working, build AC unit for child hospital in Philly. Okay. I'm not sure what the details are on that, but feel free to give us more context, Carlos, in terms of this hospital in Philly. And you said something about the protocol, so you can chime in and give us more details on what you're saying there, Carlos.
Yes, sir.
So look, what we're going to be doing today is that, you have these autoimmune illnesses, and these autoimmune illnesses, the most popular ones that people know of is lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease. What else you got? You've got Hashimoto's disease. You've got Graves' disease. You have a whole bunch of other types of illnesses that are being called autoimmune illnesses. And so what we do is we break down the word all the time, right? So as we learned, understanding the history of words and where they come from gives you a deeper meaning. So when they say auto, it's like self, and immune. So it's a self-immune disease. So basically what they're saying is that the body is attacking itself. Okay? And so it's important to understand why they're saying that the body is attacking itself. And we're going to get into that. But just the word autoimmune is giving you a sense into what they're trying to say about these diseases, that the body is attacking itself. More specifically, the immune system is attacking itself. And so the question becomes like, what is the immune system? How is the immune system fueled? How does it misfire? How does it become malnourished? And all of that. And so if you have an autoimmune disease and this has never been broken down to you, this is the show you want to attend today. This is the show that you're going to want to share with your family members who may be similarly situated with these types of problems. That's the rheumatoid arthritis, that's the lupus people, that's multiple sclerosis, and it goes on and on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually show you research. We're going to give you lectures with what scientists are seeing under the microscope. And then we're going to show you protocols that have been working around the world. And we're gonna get into them. And these protocols have existed for a long time. And so I'm going to give you the names of them and you can just look them up, and we're going to go deep into them. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at the work of Dr. Alan McDonald, and we're going to be looking at the work of Dr. Coimbra. Okay, he's out of Brazil. His name is Dr. Cicero Coimbra. And so if not for anything, I want you all to remember these names, okay? So anytime that you're talking about autoimmune illnesses, there are two names that you need to remember and two names that you need to dig deep into. I'm going to give you the names again. Dr. Alan McDonald, okay? And then you want to know Dr. Cicero Coimbra. There is no discussion of autoimmune diseases without knowing those two names. Okay, and we're going to get into some other names as well, like Dr. Harold Schell out of Germany, but these are the two main names you need to know. If you don't know these names, then you most likely are getting something that is not going to solve your problem in terms of a protocol or an approach. Okay, because at the end of the day, a sick person just wants to be well. A sick person does not want to deal with any politics or the history of, the pharmaceutical companies or the history of this or history. They just want to know, what can I do not to be sick anymore, right? And so what you're going to find out is that in a lot of our presentation, because time is of the essence, we don't spend a lot of time getting into like conspiracy theories. And I don't use conspiracy theory as a pejorative. I use a conspiracy theory as like definitionally what it is. Conspiracy just means two or more people have an agreement to do something that usually is against the interests of other human beings. And theory just basically means that you're positing an idea or a concept as to what may have happened. Conspiracy theory is something that has a negative cloak around it. So sometimes, you can change the words, and I call it, you can call it nefarious collusion, right? We don't get too much into that, even though all these things do exist, because what we want to do is we want to spend our time teaching people the pathway to solving their problems. There's no education and learning more that is a bad thing. So it's not that like it's a bad thing to learn about the history of these people and what their motivations are and what has incentivized them. It gives you a picture to be able to predict future behavior of people who are in power. However, when you are sick, that is secondary to your problems confronting you in your day. You don't want to have multiple sclerosis anymore. You don't want to have rheumatoid arthritis anymore. You don't want to have lupus anymore. So what we do is we spend our time on solving that problem. And then when that problem is solved, you can look deeper into the history of these things and why a lot of these problems are not being solved. They're not being solved adequately. So a lot of times what it is just maintaining symptoms or making sure that the symptoms don't get worse or what have you. And that's like the best that you can hope for. And they say you're going to have this for the rest of your life, right? But today is the day for those people who are tuned in, who've been asking me about autoimmune illnesses. I'm going to give you the two approaches that I've combined. So the Herbal Results Protocol for autoimmune diseases is a combination of the work of Dr. Alan McDonald and Dr. Cicero Coimbra. I've merged them. I've merged their work into a central thesis and an approach to solve the problem, right? So that's the Herbal Results Protocol, merging the work of two doctors and two scientists and just using first principles thinking to solve the problem, okay? So we're going to get into a protocol today. I'm going to tell you the exact products that you need if you've got an autoimmune illness and the exact dietary precautions that you have to partake in. And it's all going to be from a first principles approach, because once you understand the underpinning problem, we're going to make sure we don't feed the problem, and we're going to make sure we starve the problem. We're going to make sure that we eradicate the problem. This is and also add nutrients to whatever might be missing. So whenever you have an illness, the first thing you want to do is, what is feeding the problem? You need to identify that. And then what are the nutrients that I might be missing that is preventing my body from healing itself, right? So that's the two-pronged approach that we use. Identify the toxic inputs, and then two, identify the nutritive deficiencies. When we do this, now we have an approach. And then we can have a protocol that usually we're seeing results in not too long of a period. So, we don't want to get into too many details right now, because YouTube definitely got their apparatus and their bots or whatever watching what we do and trying to, take us down for different reasons. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be literally sharing with you lectures that are on YouTube itself. And I want you to look at this, and I'm going to show you how to understand what's being said. And once you see it, it'll be an aha moment, and you'll understand why people are getting autoimmune diseases and the problems are not being solved, because people are not dealing with it from a first principles approach, okay? So that is what we're going to be doing in terms of housekeeping for those people who are tuned in. I will be doing some lectures coming up, and I'm going to share this with you all. So I have a lecture coming up on cancer eradication, high blood pressure, and diabetes it's going to be in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm going to share the flyer with you all. So this is going to be Richmond, Virginia, and then I'm going to be in London, England, the first week of July. So I'm going to share that information with you all as well. I know that we have international listeners, so those of you all who would like to come to the historic lecture that we'll be doing in London, England, in a few weeks, I welcome you all, and we'll be happy to see the London, England family at the lecture. That will be a monumental lecture because we're going to be having, so just for people to know, so I'd say maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I got an email from a customer in London wanting to have a phone call with me about some health issues. And it turns out that this particular lady is part of like a wide community in England. And apparently they've been getting Herbal Results products for the last couple months. And she's informed me that the people in that community, there's been people who've been doing the protocol, particularly for cancer. And like as we speak right now, according to her, there's been about since the beginning of this year, 2026, there's been about 10 people in that particular community who have cancer reversals. So part of what I'll be doing is during the lecture, we're going to have those people who've had cancer reversals in England come and give testimonials, and we'll film it and all of that. And we're going to cover their particular cases. So we've got, I know we have multiple myeloma, we've got lung cancer, a couple different types of cancers. I don't have a list of all of them, but I was informed that it's been definitely in the double digits in the last, 6 months. And so I'll be meeting those people for the first time because they've been just doing the protocol. And it's nice to, meet people who have their problem solved. And they use the protocol. It's always nice to meet those people in the flesh. And, we get to, hug each other and, just commune with each other and usually form lifelong friendships. And so London should be monumental. And so I'll be there, I believe, July 4th, 5th, and 6th. I think the 4th is the lecture, the 5th is another lecture, and then I'll be doing about 3 lectures in England. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you all the flyer for Richmond, Virginia. I will be giving that lecture this Saturday. So I'll be there live and direct, deal with all the massive in Richmond, Virginia. And then I think 2 weeks after that, we'll be in England. And I think after England, I may see if I can dip into Ghana real quick. I have some business to do there. May do a lecture in Ghana. And then I might go to Rwanda and Uganda during that leg of the trip, because England, is easy to get to Africa from England. So I may take care of a lot of Africa business on that trip. I'll see. I'll coordinate some things, but that's what it's looking like. So right now, we have on the screen the flyer. And what the flyer just simply says is what we're looking at June 20th. They're calling it, I think it's in celebration for Juneteenth. Yeah. So it says, join us for a powerful Juneteenth experience focused on healing, prevention, and holistic solutions for a stronger Black community. June 20th, 2026, 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess it'll be on Zoom. I don't have the Zoom link, but if you can email me, I can get you in touch with the organizers and the promoters, and you can get that. And so in person, which is always preferable at the venue. The address is 5705 South Laburnum Avenue, Henrico, Virginia, which is around Richmond 23231. I believe the tickets are $10, and we'll be starting at 1 o'clock sharp, y'all. If you want more info, you're going to go to info@healith.net. That's HEALYTH.net. Okay. And the theme is Our History, Our Freedom, Our Health. Okay. So we'll be there. You all are going to be learning how to solve your problems. We're going to cover cancer reversals. We're going to cover high blood pressure. We're going to do diabetes. I might even throw in autoimmune illnesses right quick into the mix. We'll be going from 1 to 5 p.m. And so come with your notebook and come with ears and a analytical mind. And we're going to be going through a first principles approach to solving these problems. Okay. And that is going to be Richmond, Virginia, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., June 20th. Okay. And June 20th is going to be this Saturday. Okay. So I'll be there. Happy to see you all. And we're going to get deep into the vibes of how you're going to heal these problems, which are the number one health issues that we have, which is heart disease, cancer, diabetes, autoimmune illnesses, so forth and so on. Okay. So that is what we got going on. All right. And I'll have the flyer for England. I probably have the flyer here somewhere. I'll have to pull it up, but that's going to be July 4th. So right now I want to definitely promote the more recent lecture that's going to be happening, which is going to be June 20th. And after that, we'll get into July 4th. We'll promote that as well. But I'll probably be putting this on my social media today, this morning, for people who are interested in more information. And just to have the flyer, it'll be on my Instagram. It will be on my Facebook and probably on my X today. So those of you all who are in the area, bring your family, bring your friends. And this is going to be, there's going to be testimonials there as well of people who've gotten reversals from all different types of illnesses using the herbal results approach. So it's going to be live and direct. And that's what we like to do with these lectures, is like, we don't like to just talk. I actually prefer to have people who've gotten reversals take the stage and let them talk. Because my position is that no one's a greater expert on a disease than someone who's reversed their disease, right? And so this is how we like to do things. We like to give the results the precedence, and it's not necessarily how many degrees you got or what schools you went to or this and that. Trust me, I went to school with a lot of people who are in great positions today, and trust me, they weren't the brightest bulbs in the room when I was in school. But, you know, you get your kudos based on your titles and not necessarily your results. And we want to make this results focused, right?
Facts.
A results centric approach to actually giving people platforms, right? So when you get a platform to speak to people, what you've got to do is you've got to show people that your approach actually yields results, and it has to be consistent. This is what expertise has to be measured on, right? And I say it in my book, The Successful Eradication of Cancer Using Intracellular Parasite Theory, that expertise must be measured on the quality and consistency of results. That's the new standard for the day. So therefore, no one can come to you with wolf tickets saying, hey, I'm director of such and such. I went to this and this school, or I did this, or I did that, or I have this title. That's irrelevant to a sick person. The sick person just wants to know, is what you're saying, and if I do what you're saying, am I going to heal myself of this problem? Am I no longer going to have this problem? And that is the standard that we are dealing with, and that's the standard that we're setting. Okay, so that's the flyer. That is June 20th, 1 p.m., Richmond, Virginia. If you need more information, just hit us up at info@herbalresults.net. The flyers will be up on all of my It'll be on the Herbal Results social media, and it'll be on Heru Oforiata social media as well. Okay, so that's what we got lined up for y'all, and we're going to get into this whole science of autoimmune diseases very shortly. Brother Red Pill, you had something to say?
No.
Okay.
I was just tapping in. I will say though, if we have 1 minute left on a YouTube stream, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want anybody to be caught off guard when we cease to stream on YouTube. We are moving to Patreon just for this show in particular. You guys know that YouTube has been very censorific when it comes to the information being disseminated. So we are all moving over in 1 minute. The link is in the chat. I'll drop it one more time, but I'll need everybody to pull up, and we're going to get into this talk today. We're going to have a conversation about the overall feeling that's in the air right now. There's so much going on in the sports world, you know, and I've tackled the concept of bread and circus on my broadcast, you know, but I also want to tackle the subject of, you know, the effervescence and the Kairos moment, right? The feeling that, you know, there's a real charged up feeling in the air right now, and it seems that sports has the ability to do that, where everybody is basically locked in on one type of frequency. You know, we're seeing that with the World Cup, we're seeing that with the NBA Finals, and we've also seen that with this UFC event that took place last night at the White House and whatnot. You know, we could talk about some of the negatives, but I do want to focus on some of the positives, because I'm seeing things, you know, I'm seeing how people are using this energy to and I'm also going to share how you can use the energy for positive, for those who, you know, they don't need any word on that, but sometimes when you look into the scientific aspects of it, it's good for perspective. So yes, let me turn this. Let me see. We should be going live any minute now.
And Red Pill, you can feel free just to give people a little bit more leeway. You want to get into that a little bit, and then like every 30 seconds or so, we can chime in to tell people to get into Patreon, but you can cover the effervescence now. So I don't think that'll be blocked by YouTube.
Right. So I'll go to the meaning of effervescence and give everybody a breakdown. I'm sure that they've heard that before. Effervescence. I believe that they turned that into a product. You know what I mean? If my memory serves me correct, or they used to use it in like one of those commercials, a hair shampoo or something, the effervescence. But you know, it does mean giving off bubbles of gas or being lively, enthusiastic, and full of energy, right? So that energetic charge that you could feel when you go into a stadium, or that energetic charge that you felt in the bar watching the finals and whatnot, or even vicariously through your TV screen or through your phone and whatnot, just seeing everybody tapped in and celebrating and whatnot. That's an effervescence feeling, okay? And it's a powerful feeling. And you know, it is a feeling that that you could utilize for creativity, you know what I'm saying? You could channel it, you know? And it's called collective effervescence, not just single effervescence, but the collective effervescence. Thousands of people feeling the same emotions at the same time. You know, they have joy, they got hope, they have belonging. There's this sense of belonging that sports is doing for people. I see people in Atlanta walking around with these World Cup jerseys and whatnot. There's this belonging. There's a sense of putting on a Knicks jersey and showing up in New York, a belonging, walking through the New York streets. You know, there's a collective belonging. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people had pent up energy that needed to be let out, right? People are collectively seeing New York thaw out as a collective, not as a single person, but as a collective, is thawing out. It's that thawed out feeling is doing something to people, you know. Our nervous systems crave this. This is something that our nervous system needs, right? When it's denied, there's negative results as well. Okay. You have cardiac coherence, right? When people share intense emotions and their nervous system literally gets electrified. Okay. There's data on this, ladies and gentlemen. They have data on this whole phenomenon, right? Like I used to be like, Dad, people go crazy when they score a goal, because I'm not really big on the soccer thing and whatnot. But when they score the goal, it just erupts. I'm talking about crazy, you know. I witnessed it this strong in. So it's like there's a release, there's an energetic release. Some people are able to take advantage of that, and some are not. Okay. And what I noticed in New York is something called functional freeze. You know, people needed something to feel, right? We're just going through life, ladies and gentlemen, and we don't have we're frozen and whatnot. In a sense, we don't have that feeling. You know, we don't have that feeling of alive. And sports does that. It gives people a feeling of alive. It puts them in what is known as a Kairos moment, right? People are going to remember that tipping, right? When the brother OG tipped the ball in, they're going to remember that. There's certain people that are going to remember the exact moment the Knicks won the championship, the moment, what they were doing, who they were around, how they were feeling, what they were wearing, you know, where they were at. You feel me? The same way that people could remember 9/11, you know, the negatives and whatnot, you can also remember the positives. Okay. So in a day and time where a lot of people are feeling like they're on a hamster wheel, they're feeling like they're in Groundhog Day and whatnot, they're just, you know, they're not living, they don't feel alive. These moments are those moments that bring people to the conclusion of them being alive, you know. A lot of hope was stored up in the hearts of New Yorkers for 53 years. It was almost crystallized. It was in a cage, okay? And everything got released at once, you know? Everything got released at once. We call that collective joy, okay? And they call that collective effervescence, you know? So we're just putting the science behind what is taking place in the sports and everything. And then we're going to get into the word kairos, right? Kairos. And what the kairos moment is, it's a defining, opportune, and a decisive moment. You know, it's like a tipping point. Okay. It's a tipping point where the conditions are perfectly right for a crucial action or a change to happen. One of the most popular, or one of the most well-known, or one of the most agreed upon kairos moments is the birth of a child, you know, where everything lines up and that child is, you know, it enters into the world and whatnot. And it's been said that time freezes for some people, or it slows down and whatnot. And it had, you know, fathers faint, you know what I mean? In that kairos moment. So that is a very powerful moment. That also is that moment when the bell, when the final seconds on the clock rang out, and then boom, everybody rushed the floor, the confetti drops, you know what I mean? That's that kairos moment. In the UFC pounded into the damn man, we could talk about that, but that UFC moment is when you see your favorite wrestler and whatnot get his victory and his arm goes up. In boxing, it's when the announcer, and the winner is a new world, right? You know, all of that. So that's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, give thanks for that contribution, Red Pill, as you notice what's happening around the world with people, and how sports do bring people together and bring some synchronicity and some sense of belonging to people. So yeah, that's a cool observation, man. So I think we've given enough time for people. I think that the people who tune into the Monday show, particularly
Yes.
through the Know the Ledge media empire, know that we do have to transition to the Patreon at this point, y'all. For those of you all who tuned in, we want to give you all a minute or two because we're going to go deep into this autoimmune situation. And once you see what I'm about to show you all, it'll all make sense and you'll have a pathway to solving your issue. Okay. So what we need people to do, Brother Red Pill, did you put in your YouTube chat? So did you pin the link that people can go to for the Patreon?
I have, yes. I'm gonna drop it again.
Yeah.
We got a 30-second countdown, ladies and gentlemen. We will end the broadcast on both of the YouTube channels, and then we will subsequently move right over to Patreon. Patreon is waiting for you right now. Make sure you guys go over there if you want to continue. We're going to be going in for another hour and change. So please join us, be a part of this well-needed discussion, but we're going to do that behind the Patreon. Okay. So we'll see you over there.
Yep. And my listeners, we're going to still stay on our Facebook. Sankofa Revolutionary Radio listeners, stay where you are. And I'm also going to make it available to be seen on the Herbal Results website as well. I'm about to pull that up. So, we have people who are on the Herbal Results website. And you can just go there and stay there to tune in to this programming. And the whole point is that we want to get people used to viewing this information on our own properties so that we have what you call site control. It's very important. So please make your transition over to the Red Pill Patreon for those who are tuned in to Know the Ledger and Know the Ledge Media. Those of you who are on Facebook, you can stay there if you want. If you want to view what's going on, what I might do for those who are tuned in on herbalresults.net, I might stay a little bit longer to answer questions for those who are tuned in there so that we give you a little bit more value by incentivizing you to be on our channels and not just view everything through Facebook or YouTube, because at the end of the day, we're making them money and they've got the nerve to try to censor us and while we're making them money. That's crazy.
Mitigated gall.
Yeah, it's like it's absolutely crazy. So we just want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to catch this information, because clearly it's not mainstream. It's not mainstream information, and it really should be. If you see how easy it is to kind of analyze this, you're going to be really frustrated with the fact that this information has not been shared with people, and people are suffering from these autoimmune illnesses, man. And it's like they're trying to figure out, how can I solve this problem? How can I be rid of this illness and this disease? So right now I am going to be adding Herbal Results live to this, and we are going to get busy, y'all. So we have that. Okay, let me add one thing. Herbal Results live. There we are. And there we go. All right, we should be live on the website as well. So we are now broadcast to the properties that we have control over. And we'll be looking at Know the Ledge University broadcast as well sometime very soon. We look forward to that. And so here we are. So
yeah, and we good. We crossed over, so we good.
Okay, good. So we are live on Patreon. We are live on Herbal Results. We are live on Facebook. We are live on my X channel. We are live on Sankofa Revolutionary Radio website, and we are live on Sankofa Revolutionary Radio Facebook. Okay, so we are all set, y'all. So let's get busy. Hopefully, people have made that transition over. This is something that everyone should be getting used to. Okay, so let's talk about autoimmune illnesses. So when they tell you have an autoimmune illness, they're telling you literally that your immune system is essentially attacking you, or different parts of your body. So if you have Crohn's disease, it says